Uh, I felt honestly, I feel a little silly making this video. There's no other way to say it. There's a lot of channels out there that talk about sports and pop culture, and they do reaction videos to uh, new trailers or whatnot. But in the coffee world, your best bet as far as a reaction video would be to Lance or James, Lance Hedrick or James Hoffman. Y'all, I've seen reaction videos Lance did for some of the stuff that James Hoffman has done, and y'all, this is kind of funny. Like I said, I feel silly kind of making a reaction video. I've never done that before, but I thought today, if I'm gonna make a reaction video to anything, I got to do it to this, y'all. So, if you haven't seen it yet, Lance has done a video on this awesome grinder right here. This is the Shardor 64 millimeter flat burr grinder. Y'all, if you have watched my channel before, my name's Tony. Thanks so much for watching and hanging out with me. This is a live espresso channel, a live review channel, all that good stuff. Definitely, I'm going to ask you, hit that subscribe button because I am a big coffee geek. There's just no other way to say it. And Lance Hendricks and James Hoppin tend to be like the biggest folks in the espresso business, and I've learned so much from watching lots of other YouTubers. I'm just some small YouTube guy, not some professional in any way, shape, or form. I'm just a home hobbyist. So but I had to do this just because I couldn't help but to geek out about it. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna hit play. And I'm gonna hit pause, and I might talk a little about it. This is again out of the box weirdness. I don't even know if I'm gonna keep this video up on my channel forever, but I had to, because like I said, there's other channels out there, but
and today we're taking a look at the Shardor 64 millimeter.
Okay, guys, this is awesome.
Now, this video has been highly requested by many of you because this is an extreme budget-friendly grinder. That being said, it took me a while to find one in Europe, and when I did, it was 180 euros from a shop in Romania, so that's closer to 200.
I believe Lance is in Portugal. So, guys, another thing too, when it comes to the coffee stuff, I'm based in Florida, in Central Florida, and I'm in the States. A lot of folks who are subscribing to the channel, hey, how's it going? YKN, how you doing? Are internationally based, and Lance is in Europe, so everything, it's like Tom's Coffee Corner. He's gone to the States a lot, but he's, I believe, in Germany. So it's kind of interesting to find what it's like to find not only the products that we use, but how they're under different names. So I'm going to go ahead and play this just a little bit more.
US dollars. So it doesn't seem like full global distribution is in full effect just yet, though by the time this video is out, maybe it is, who knows, but I do know it's cheapest right now in the US. Even still, I think it warrants a look. This is Lance from the future. We're about to get into all of this, and before we get into all of this, I want to take a second to ask you to hit
I
the
love
like
Lance's videos.
if you enjoy the content, because it really helps propel the channel forward.
Guys, you got to be subscribed to his channel. If you're watching my video right now and you're not subscribed to Lance or James Hoffman or Tom's Coffee Corner or Han, just go do it.
In the grinder world, it has been a bit stale, meaning that all these grinders coming out seem to not really offer anything outside of just, oh, this one has better alignment with just smoke and mirrors, or this one has less retention, or this one is, all these little things that are not really innovative. I would love to see more innovation, or what I've also been preaching is, I'd love to see cheaper options. Now that we know how all of these things work, we should be able to manufacture them more cheaply. And that's where this comes in. Something that is exciting, a 64 millimeter grinder for less than half the cost of one of the most budget-friendly options, the DF64, is on the market.
All right, guys. So I'm not going to keep, you should go watch Lance's video. I just kind of wanted to do a little bit of a reaction to it. I put the link to his video down in the description below. So definitely make sure you do that. But guys, I really just kind of wanted to talk a lot about this grinder and kind of talk about some of the points that Lance was sharing. So this is an amazing grinder. There's no other way to say it. If you are a budget-friendly person, or you're a person that's really on a budget and you want to make espresso, I'm telling you right now, this grinder is going to be your gateway into making some good stuff. It is an awesome, awesome grinder. I have been using it on my channel for now at least 3 months. I've actually replaced the burrs. What kind of the reaction of what I wanted to talk about? I was really, really pleased to see Lance's video because he talked about the burr set that's actually in this grinder that you get stock. So the stock burr set I actually have right here because I've replaced the burrs that are in here already. And if you haven't already, go watch the video where I replaced those burrs. I really like watching Lance and all those guys. Lance did a really cool video about 2, 3 years ago where he was talking about a brand that he was replacing these really inexpensive grinders that he was getting on Amazon and Ollie. And he ended up getting basically what he says in his video, basically the almost these exact same burrs and putting them into one of those grinders. So I really dig that because here's the thing, right out of the box, this machine is going to give you great espresso. This burr set for sure is definitely espresso minded. If you are a person who likes, your dark roast and more traditional espressos, this thing is going to hit all the bells and whistles and work really well for you. So I'm going to tell you that right out of the gate, you're going to have a really good experience. I was really grateful that he did this just because it's nice knowing. Here's kind of the thing, guys, and I might be getting a little geeky here. These things are really cool. These are the stock burrs. I might be getting a little geeky here, but one of the hardest things about espresso is that the price point of everything is so high. It's so expensive, and there's no other way to say it. And a lot of times people kind of get scared off by that because they want to be, they've been to their local cafe, they've had really great coffee, and they're like, hey, I want to do that at home. And maybe they don't have coffee experience, maybe you haven't worked in a cafe before, and you want to jump into it at home, but there's just that barrier where it's just like boom, you hit it, and it's just like, wow, this costs way more money than I ever want to spend. What's really cool is that right now, y'all, we're in like the golden age of home barista equipment. There's no other way to say it. I feel like this has been like the great, and again, this might be me sounding too geeky, the great like equalizer, because when the DF64 came out, that shook up the market, where now you could start having 64 millimeter burrs. You could have them at home, and then the DF64 is utterly amazing. But for about 150 bucks, y'all, this thing is awesome. I could tell you that I have been using it for going on, goodness, like I said, at least 3 months, if not longer. And I've replaced the burr set in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you the upper burr because I don't want to obviously remove the whole burrs. And I'm going to take this out just so y'all can see it. But this is just really cool. So I'm kind of going to give this caveat though and say this. These are not SSP burrs. Like I mentioned, or maybe I haven't mentioned this, I'm pretty much a giant cheapskate. I will try to get everything I can as a bargain. And I'm a big proponent for trying to get stuff at a good price. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't spend money on something that's good in quality. That's not at all what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you shouldn't let yourself have a diminished experience because you can't afford something. Try to find something in your budget and learn from it and work with it. It's better to get the experience. So here's the upper, basically part of it. It's going to pull this out and look. So I've actually replaced these with multi-purpose burrs. And these are not SSP. These are clones. So the reason why I say that, guys, I don't want to ever mislead anyone in any way, shape, or form. I really just truly believe, obviously, I'm always being really super honest with anybody who's watching my channel. Because y'all, I don't know if I could afford those. But I'm not saying I won't ever get them. I've thought about buying them used. But these are definitely clone burrs. And they're multi-purpose. And I'm telling y'all, I have had such an amazing experience using this grinder. I'm just, since I have it opened up, just giving it a little brush here. But you guys, this grinder has been really amazing. If you were interested in swapping out the burrs, I made a video about me swapping up the burrs, so definitely go take a look at that. Just because there wasn't a video of anyone doing that with this grinder at this point. So I am so glad that Lance finally got to it. I really love when folks like Lance, who are really, these basically professionals that are just awesome, just really kind of sharing with everybody. You can make good espresso at home. You don't have to spend 900, $2,000, $4,000 on these amazing grinders. There is an entry point where you can get something that's pretty affordable, and even that, even something like this, $150 might not be affordable to some people. I'll just say that right now. I even mean when I talk about it, I'm pretty sensitive to that. One of the reasons why I started my channel is because it's called Faith and Coffee Bean, is because when I first started in coffee, I was a minister, and I worked with the unhoused, the homeless, people who have drug addiction situations in their life, people that are incarcerated, and I worked with a lot of cafes who donated their food and their time and their talent to kind of like really feed the homeless and feed the people who were in need. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, in the coffee business or in the coffee world, a lot of folks can get kind of caught up in like the big stuff. And it's just kind of cool when you have something that is affordable where you could actually achieve something that's awesome. So that, to me, that's where I start getting excited about it. On my channel, I kind of go over a lot of things that are really budget minded. I don't mind doing reviews and stuff that most people probably want to do a review on, because at the end of the day, I always kind of think to myself, that's probably the thing I would buy. Because again, I'm always on a budget, and you might be on a budget like me too. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on, and I want to show you guys. So you put a little bit of pressure because it's all spring loaded, and then you go ahead and then you just continue to, here, I want to make sure I got it even, tighten it down, and then we'll pull a shot here. Guys, I try to go live on my channel 2 or 3 times a week. So that's always kind of a main goal for me. 2 or 3 times a week, I like to go live. If you are not yet, make sure you hit the subscription and that bell notification. I don't really have a set time when I go live, but I like to kind of go live random. It's really when I have time away from work. And so if you want to get notified, definitely make sure you hit that bell. All right, so my 0 point isn't exactly 0 anymore now that I've swapped these out. But let's go ahead. I'm going to activate it. You hear that? Now we'll take it down to the chirp. But it's pretty close. It's pretty close to where it was. But yeah, that's the one thing I had noticed after doing this upgrade. Of course, it's not perfectly aligned. But I have noticed over the seasoning and me using them that it is getting a little bit closer to that 0 point. So when I first put them on, it was like right at almost a 10. Now it's going below a 10. So definitely, the one thing I'm going to encourage anybody, if you are purchasing this grinder and you're doing it for doing the upgrade to the burrs, and that is honestly, that's why you should buy this grinder, the fact that you could do that. Just do your research. Again, watch the video I did. Watch Lance's video completely through. I might play a little bit more of it just because, again, this is more like a reaction live video to it. Like I said, I've never really done a reaction video before, but I kind of had to, just because it's just cool seeing someone like Lance talk about something at that price point, and it kind of is a big deal, It's just kind of cool when some things that you work on and kind of mess with start getting a little mainstream. There's no other way to say it. But yeah, guys, hey, I also wanted to show you this cool new portafilter handle I got. Okay, so it's this awesome wood I thought this would look good. This is my iCap portafilter head, and then I have my MH Bomber basket underneath it. I have it on my Gemini Owl. Y'all, this thing is such a great machine. I kind of had to. I've been using the Powerhouse Gemini for the last, oh gosh, month or so. And then the Owl was just sitting there giving me a look like, ooh, use me. So I decided to swap the Owl out. If you guys are looking for a budget machine, the one thing I'm going to tell you about the Owl, it's white, so it does get a little dirty. And I should probably clean it more. But this thing is just a really cool machine because it has a heater that's built into the group head that offers really great temperature stability. So as basically the portafilter is sitting in there, it's getting hot, and you're definitely creating more of that action. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play this video just a little bit, and I'm gonna start preparing a shot. We're gonna pull a shot today because we always pull shots when we do live videos. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn down this volume a little bit just so I could hang with y'all. But if you haven't watched Lance's video, oh my goodness, you gotta watch it. It's just really cool. I really love the fact that he's talking about budget stuff, because I think, how do I put it? I just think that I think in the coffee kind of world, the spectrum stuff, kind of feel like people get really caught up into, what's hot, what's new, and then ultimately comes down to budget. And as a person who isn't crazy rich and is trying to get into this, it's just kind of nice to know when you get folks who really are in the business, who care about what they're doing and passionate, or they're talking about stuff that, I hate to say it like this, but the everyman, myself, could afford. Because I'm telling you guys, that's one of the things that just kind of is so hard about coffee sometimes. And that was really my dilemma with coffee from the get-go. When I worked in college at a cafe, I really wanted to make espresso at home, but I really had in my mind that at that time, the espresso machines that were available to me, I couldn't afford, you know? And honestly, guys, that's a lesson I've had to learn and realize I was wrong. I picked up an ECP DeLonghi on Facebook Marketplace about a year and a half ago for $40, and it just completely changed my perspective on coffee, because I was like, wow, you can make good coffee at home. This is awesome. And that's kind of thing. And that's why I started my channel. It's because I just started getting back in that hobby of it all, and kind of, thinking more about it and to be like, wow, I could realistically make this at home. So today I am actually going to be brewing up, and we're going to be using, I used this before in one of my lives. I'm going to do a couple pulls here. I'm going to do a pull of this Budum coffee. This is out of Denmark, I believe. This is a French roast, so this is definitely a very dark roast. And then I'm going to go ahead and make one final pull of this Nicaraguan good as gold coffee. And we're getting right down the end bag on that. Hey, how's it going, Mom? And we're going to go ahead and pull some shots here. But yeah, guys, I was so stoked to see that Lance did the video on the Shardor. And yes, I'm trying not to call it Shandor. I honestly, someone in the comments said Shardor. And oh man, low-hanging fruit, Lance said. You hear stuff like that and you want to like laugh, because that's kind of what I think we're all thinking. And I think when I was joking around with my wife, because my wife and my son were kind of teasing me, being like, hey dad, why are you calling it Shandor? It's Shardor. For the longest time. And y'all would leave comments being like, hey dude, you're calling it the wrong thing. So if you guys watch videos of mine and I'm saying the wrong thing, I don't know, I guess my brain was saying, don't say shart, don't say shart. Oh my gosh, my teenagers laughed at me forever about that. Oh my goodness. What's funny? Sometimes I don't know, what things get named, and what kind of blows my mind. So that kind of brings up another fact. A lot of these items, including this Gemini right here, in different regions, they're called different things. In Europe, Gemini goes by another name. So, and I don't know if it's quite Gemini or if they partner with someone. but there is an owl out there it's in Spain, and I know because I've had some viewers out in Spain reach out to me and let me know that they have a different version. I know in the Philippines, Gemini is based out of China, but they sell a lot in the Philippines. But there are a couple different brands that a lot of folks that watch the channel, subscribe from the Philippines, have told me, hey, it's called a different name out there. And I know in the Indian market, in India, there's been a couple different namings. So that's one of the hardest things. Guys, if you know all the names of the Shardor 64, one of the, on Lance's unit, I'm going to go and show you guys right now in the video. It says, let's take a quick look here. I believe it says AVX, and I looked that up, or AV what? Yeah, AVX. I looked that up, and that company looks like it's based out of Hungary. So, that's kind of the thing, guys. All this stuff, it just depends on your market. So, like I said, if in your market it's called something different, leave a comment below just to let folks in your region know where they could find it, basically. And I'm always more than happy to share any links and all that good stuff. Okay, guys. So let's go ahead. Got some RDT here. I pulled a shot earlier on this, and I realized I need to go a little bit coarser. So I'm actually gonna, I don't want to go too coarse, but I think right about there is where I'm gonna be. So that, again, my true zero is off since I've swapped out my burrs for the multi-purpose burrs. Okay, let's go and turn this on. Oh, I just clicked it off by accident. There we go. Yeah, guys, make sure that you are subscribed to all those folks. People like Lance, James Hoffman, Morgan. Oh gosh, so many of them. Home brew. There's just so many great espresso coffee YouTubers out there, and I am just some small dude working in his home office. I am not some pro. I am the quintessential dad home barista. So I'm learning. There we go. I think we're almost clear. Just let's see here. Again, it does take a little bit longer since I swapped out those burrs. It's definitely designed to work with its burrs. One of the cool things up here that Lance did is he actually tested the RPM of this unit, so that's really awesome. That's what I love when people like Lance or Tom's Coffee Corner go through stuff, because they really just kind of tear it down and kind of give you the whole perspective. All right, all clear here. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and get that shot. Let's do some puck prep. There we go. Like I said, we've got this new handle added on. Guys, I don't, in the States, I've had some mixed experiences with AliExpress. When I get smaller things like this handle or different baskets, I haven't really had too many issues. I actually tried ordering a Gemini on Ollie, and I had a really terrible experience. I'm not saying that's going to be your experience. And I think in the U.S., it's a little bit different than other markets, with Ollie and Alibaba and all the different ones. But man, I just got this off of AliExpress for like $8. So that was really cool. It was kind of nice to do that. Okay. Yeah, this thing has just been a gem. I'm so happy that I got this. Out of all the grinders that I've got, I feel like this one has given me the best value and bang for my buck 100%. I love using a good conical burr grinder. I have my Hybrid G5 over there, and I do have my Star Seeker grinder that I've been using a lot of lately. And then in the kitchen, I have my Gemini. What do they call that one? Gemini has a really cool conical burr grinder. Been using it a lot for pour overs and espresso. Okay. I'm always really like interested in knowing what y'all use for your grinders. You know, what are your favorite grinders? So please let me know in the comments, you know, what's your favorite grinder and all that good stuff. Always about saving a buck, but like I said, sometimes you just got to spend more to get something that's a little bit better quality. That I'm not against that in any way. This is the new iCap distributor. This thing is so cool. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and use the iCap force tamper. There we go. Let's go ahead and do puck screen up top. Got a norm core puck screen right here. Yeah, it's so cool, guys. Yeah, I'm so happy he just kind of went into it and went right into the burrs, because that was my first thing that I thought about. Okay, before I get too far into it, let me grab a cup. Don't want to get too stuck in my own head, and I don't pull my espresso into a cup now. Come on. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and pull this. I hope I didn't go too fine. That's taking way too long. And that is really a possibility. That has been one of the biggest things I've noticed with these beans. I've gone way too fine too many times. I literally just pulled this, but to pull off the burr, I just kind of had to, you know, redid it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's just stop it there. That's killing me. I feel like when I do these lives, this is inevitable. Oh my goodness, this happens to me more times than I want to admit. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know what is going down, guys, when I do the live videos and me going too fine. Oh, kills me. All right, let me go ahead and clear this and we'll do it one more time. Such a bummer. But hey, it happens to all of us, and everyone's got to do dialing in. What's killing me is though, I just did a video earlier, and I had it perfect, and of course, you know, I messed it up. All right, let me get this cleaned up here. Yeah, so he's showing some these are the multi-purpose burrs by SSP. Those are awesome. The burrs that I have in here, my multi-purpose, they are not SSP, guys. I know I've said it before, but they are definitely clones off of Amazon. They're very similar, but they're not. I really would like to buy some at some point, but like I've said before, I'm pretty frugal, and it's hard sometimes to pull the trigger. I don't know if you're like me on that, but you know, it's hard for me to kind of take that plunge sometimes, but I do think eventually I'm going to do it, because it's going to kind of plague me if I don't. So kind of when I did this, I wanted to see that I could do it first. And to be really honest with you all, up until I made this video with swapping out these burrs, I don't think anyone has done a video with this grinder where they swapped out burrs. So I am very happy that Lance did this. Like I am so happy. And it's just really cool that he talked about this, because I feel like that's the question that everyone who's thought about buying this grinder, or anyone who's really trying to get something, you know, at a deal because they're on a limited budget, you know, that's kind of what we're all thinking. Will this work? How do I do it? All that good stuff. And it's just, to me, it's just really cool when he does it. It's pretty much mainstream. So it's just kind of neat to see it getting done, and was stoked to see that. Um, he did bring out some really good points about if you were just to get it for stock and you weren't going to swap out the burrs. He was actually recommending stuff like the Barazza, which is a great grinder. I have quite a few conical burr grinders, like I mentioned. My Hybrew G5 right over there. I have my Timor Whirly that's sitting right there as well. That's a mobile grinder. There's a bajillion really cool conical burr grinders where if you are at all never been to espresso, never been into espresso and you're getting into the first time, I don't want anyone to think you have to have a flat burr grinder to do that. I think you can make amazing stuff off of conical, and I love the fact that he mentioned that. I thought it was so cool, because that is a good factor. Okay, so really quick, I am going to actually swap up my beans because I want some good results here, and I want it to be good. Maybe I need a confidence booster, so I'm actually going to swap out the beans and change the setting a little bit and kind of mix it up just a tad because, you know, I want a good shot, and I've only had one espresso shot today, and I need more. So I'm going to go ahead and swap this out, swap my beans out here. I have really found, I don't know if those beans that I got from those ones that are from Denmark, I don't know if maybe they're more oily. I don't know what the difference is because I think they taste really good. They're French roast. They're very dark. But I have noticed that I could go way too fine, really too easy. And that's that. And it's not blaming on the beans. I'm just saying, I think maybe I've got to have a different mindset with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do some RDT. And I am going to go ahead and pull this down just a tiny bit here. My grind size, there we go. Let's try that. Okay. All right. All right, guys, if you were just joining me right now, I am working with the Shardor 64 Flat Burr Grinder. I'm actually using some birdie beads, birdie coffee beans from Vietnam. And I'm going to be turning this on with my Gemini Owl espresso machine. It's a 58 millimeter E61 group head style. It has a heat up unit inside the actual group head for temperature stability. And it is a thermal block, so it's really fast. Yeah, those beans smell really good. Okay, all clear. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's make sure this is nice and dry. And guys, like I said, I've been doing a reaction video, kind of reaction video to Lance's review of the Shardor 64 millimeter grinder. Yeah, guys, I like that the version he got from Europe is silver. Kind of jealous of that. I'd like to hunt that down. I like that color. The body is completely plastic, guys. That's how they can do it at the price point. One of the things that he kind of talks about is how it seems like where they spent their money on is the actual grinding chamber, which is where someone should spend their money on when it comes to a company making a grinder. And that's the most important part. I love that he didn't say it was like the be all end all or any of that stuff, because it's just basically long story short, I feel like it's a great grinder for those of us who want to, you know, jump into espresso, but like just don't want to break that bank. You know, that's what it really comes down to. I like to think about when I show you guys what I do of kind of the ultimate budget setup. you know, that's going to be proper. You know, like I said, I just don't want to. It's hard. I have a hard time parting from my moolah. You know, parting from my money is not something I like to do. Yeah, I like to be frugal. I like to spend money on things like buying stuff for my wife. It's my wife's birthday coming up this week, and I'm already planning what we're gonna get her. You guys have been married for, oh goodness, about 19 years. Oh, there we go. All right, I hope this is a winner. I want to see winner chicken dinner on this one. Hope I didn't go too fine. We'll see. All right, got my new handle. All right, let's go ahead and pull this shot. 18 grams, doing it basically a double. Okay. Yeah, I really love that he pulled out all these different burrs. It's just awesome, kind of going through what each one of them does for you. That was kind of my big question on trying to figure out what burr I was going to put in there. All right, let's go ahead. Let's pull this. There we go. First drip. Still probably too fine, but you know, it's better than what I was getting before. Yeah, that's way too slow. Oh my goodness, what's going down? I wonder if when I pulled up my, honestly, like if I kind of mess with something. There we go. Yeah, I could definitely go way more coarser. I'm going way too fine. That's what it really comes down to. It's not a perfect shot, guys, for sure. Yeah, that's way too long. Yeah, it's the 3006. It's the owl. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that they had a second version of this one. Okay, I'm just gonna stop it right at 30 because again, I already know that shot's way too long. But yeah. Yeah, so this one is the owl, and it's the current version that's out in the States. So I know that in Spain and Europe, there's different versions. So I think somewhere they even have a Z out there. I think it might be in India. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm gonna give this a little stir and a little bit of a taste. I'll pull one more shot here. Let's see. Let's give it a little taste. Cheers, everybody. Oh, yeah, that's a strong one. Wow. This is 100% Arabica, Robusta. It's from Vietnam. It's called Birdie. Usually gives a lot of good crema. These beans are a little bit old. I've had the bag open for a while. Wow. That's strong. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm going to pull another shot for sure. We'll do 3 shots a day because I got to get it better than that. Oh my goodness. Still not bad, but yeah, just really strong. It was about 30 out and way too long. That's kind of how that was. Someone's asking me later on what my ratio was. 30 out and way too long. So that is definitely going coarser is the way to go. And I'm going to do that right now. Okay. I really like, guys, in the video, Lance kind of leans on going with the multi-purpose burrs. And that's what I went with in my unit. So part of me does really good. That's what I went with because that's what he recommended. That's cool. I'm glad I did it. There's a lot of different ways you can go. I actually was thinking about buying another one of these and doing HU burrs. So just so I could have 2 as a comparison, you know, but I don't know. We'll see. I really, really have my eyes on getting a Timor Sculptor. But again, it really comes down to the money. And trust me, I've actually reached out to Timor and said, "Hey, do you want me to do a review on this? Send me one, please." And who knows? I've gotten a couple grinders from them, so we'll see. That's kind of a high end grinder, so we'll see. If they'll do that. So if they do, I will be very obliged. If they don't, I still might buy one maybe that'll be my Christmas present. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Oh, cool. Okay. Vlog Vault was saying that this is the second version's international. Oh, wow, that's cool in Singapore. That is really neat. Well, see, that's the one thing I really love and kind of find out, especially in the markets in Asia, like Singapore, the Philippines. I mean, obviously all of China. There's just stuff that comes out way before we get it here in the States. At least that's the way I feel, and that's cool. I really would love to get my hands on one of the international versions at some point. That would be awesome. Yeah, so this is definitely the first one. I'm curious what the difference is to the specs. If you know, please let me know, because that's stuff I really like to look out for. Um, this one's super impressive because it has the OPV built into it. It has the heat up top. There's a lot of really cool stuff that's kind of built into this one. I love the design language that they took from. It's very much a throwback to Italian machines. So I really dig it. And the price point here in the States, it's about 399, and then sometimes there's promotions where I've seen it as low as 320 during the Prime days. And guys, I put all the links in my descriptions. Just full disclosure, anytime you click on those links, those are affiliate links, so they do help me buy more beans, basically. So I definitely appreciate that support. So if you ever have any questions about anything I have here, you can always check out those links below. But yeah, I'm always curious about that. I really love what Gemini does. The powerhouse has been awesome. I love the Turnt Legato, Apex Me Coffee, all the different names it goes under. I'm always really happy with it. Yeah, as far as links go, always look in the descriptions. Most links to even with Lance up here. I put this link to his video in the description. I feel like everyone's subscribed to Lance, but if you're not, please do. He's one of the most popular folks on YouTube when it comes to that, and there's a reason why. I learned the most from watching people on YouTube. I joke around all the time with I have a teenager, and I have in my day job I run a department in a company, and I always kind of joke around even with my folks I work with. I learn more on watching YouTube videos and visually and listening than anything. And the one thing advice I'd give anyone is go on YouTube and subscribe to everyone you can. I'm a big believer in that, and I also want to support people, but I really kind of started this channel just because I wanted to be part of that community, and I really love that people like y'all, I love how people share tips, and you guys are always more than welcome to follow me on Instagram, DM me anytime you like. We might be in different time zones, so just remember that. But DM me. I love getting pictures of people's home setups. I love following you on Instagram, and seeing kind of how you do the stuff. And believe me, I will ask you questions. You could ask me questions, but I'm going to ask those questions back. And I really love it when folks leave comments. In all honesty, people always say, that's because of YouTube and the algorithm, blah, blah, blah. I have no aspirations of being Mr. YouTube. I'm just somebody's dad, but it's just really cool when people start talking about stuff, because in the past year, getting back into coffee, I've learned more during the time I've had my YouTube channel because of people asking me questions and then me asking them, going back and forth. That's what this is all about. In today's digital world, I kind of feel like there's a lot of things that we all kind of lose. And I feel like the way that we could kind of get that is by hanging with each other. And that's why I do so many live streams, guys. You know, when you watch my live streams, I'm going to pull bad shots. I'm probably going to make mistakes, but that's okay. I'd rather do that and have y'all help me out or help you out by seeing my crazy mistakes. So that's definitely a good thing. All right, guys, I'm going to pull one more shot here, and we're going to hope, cross our fingers, that I think this is going to be better. Like I said, I kind of pulled out those burrs, and I might have unaligned it. I don't know. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, guys, the espresso and coffee is a journey. So anyone who tells you otherwise, they're not being honest with you. It is definitely a journey. It's definitely, you got to find stuff out. You got to learn things by doing it. That's not one of those things you could figure out how to do just by reading it in a manual or watching a video. You gotta buy the coffee, grind the beans, have the fun, have some caffeine, some milk, enjoy it. The rewards of coffee. Oh my goodness. Oh crap. Just dropped my WDD tool. All right, guys. Yeah, my coffee corner is very limited, so I tend to completely run out of space. All right, we'll figure that out later. Okay, and I am going to go ahead and use this new distributor from iCap. This one is a double access. So what's really cool about this distributor is that the center point doesn't move. It's just the top point. Like that kind of reminds me of a wheel on a skateboard. And just, it has a really good sense of balance to it. And it's built really awesome. It's built very well. And it's accompanied by their new version 6 force tamper. I got the shorty version and I love it. Super awesome. Let's give us a little cleaning on the side. Okay. Let's go epoxy screen up top. All right, guys, let's pull this shot. All right, guys, just getting my glass ready. I love, he called this his bougie V60. Yeah, it's bougie. I like it though. Oh my goodness. There we go. Now that is a lot faster, but I think this is kind of where we want it to be. I'm gonna try to stop it right at 32. Good Crema on this one. $32.9 in 32 seconds. There we go. Let's go with that. I think that's better on the ratio, right? Okay. And there's the definitely better Crema. Okay. Let's give it a little stir and taste. I can already tell this one's going to be way better. All right, a little taste. Cheers, salute, Solange. Oh yeah, that's nice. Definitely good. Guys, I think that's success. You know, I tried pulling 3 shots here. Cheers to Lance. What a great video. Guys, if you haven't watched this video, please go watch this video. Link's definitely in the description. I'm sure you've already seen it. If you're watching my channel, you're not subscribed to him, I'm shocked. So anyway, guys, this has kind of been a neat experience. I've never done kind of reaction video before. This isn't sports, but is coffee sports? Is coffee your sports? Maybe. Maybe it's my sport. My son was just telling me the other day, he's really into, he loves making his coffee, and he's a homeschool kid, but he's not really into sports. And he's like, Dad, just can't get my head around sports. And I said, buddy, the world loves sports, soccer, football, all the good stuff. Cricket, you know, I'm like, if you like cricket, get into cricket. There's tons of people that love cricket. anything. But I'm like, coffee's kind of my sport. Guys, if you're a coffee geek like me, definitely think about hitting that subscribe button. Not because of any weird YouTube-y thing, but just because I'm a geek and I really love when you all hang out with me. I mentioned this before, I try to go live 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes I do it more, sometimes I do it less. Depends on how busy I am. Hit that bell notification so you can know when I go live and you can hang with me. Please let me know any questions you have. Follow me on Instagram, and anything I have here you can see on my Amazon storefront. You guys are awesome. You're the reason why I do this, and I really appreciate y'all so much. Uh, yeah, so cool. Have a great one, okay?